Our next caller is Pete from Manhattan. Pete, what's your question?
Hey, Larry. First-time caller, adore the show.
Hey, I recognize that voice anywhere, Larry. That's my friend Peter Frampton on the phone.
Sure. Listen, Tracy, I love the idea of hiding cash at work. Can you be more specific about where you hid your money?
Of course, Pete. I hid my money in the safest place at 30 Rock. Without giving it away, the place I picked is very dry and warm. Its top is hard, but its bottom is soft. And although the location changes all the time, the money stays in the same place.
If you're just joining us, we're with Tracy Jordan, who is giving guitar icon Peter Frampton enigmatic clues about a secret treasure. Stay with us.
TBTL.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
It's Friday. Gonna get down on Friday.
Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna add San Fran to the last leg of my parlay.
Right. What did he say?
Said as his edge, huh? He only chopped him down because he couldn't see you no more. What's he under?
I feel a real need to express something, but I don't know what it is I want to express or how to express it.
I am not going to talk about myself. I'm going to talk about you. And if I talk about you, I think I'm going to talk about me.
We could not talk or talk forever and still find things to not talk about.
All right, they're going to run. See you on the flippy flops.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Friday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live. My name is Luke Burbank. I'm your host, coming to you from the Madrona Hills studio, perched high above the mighty Columbia, as we have arrived, everyone, at episode 4648 in a collector series, a special episode of the program.
This is special. This is special.
Something that the TBTL listeners have come to love because it's happened a couple of times before. Hopefully the Text Me Back listeners are enjoying it as much as our fans are, and that is a crossover episode featuring me and your guy, Andrew Walsh. By the way, good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Luke. Sorry I left my microphone open during that intro. I sort of chortled twice. Sorry if that was picked up on the mic.
I think it's good to model things for the listeners. Sometimes you need to sort of be an example of how they should be responding to the audio.
That's a good point. That's why you have that applause and laughter on your little red machine, your sound
It's
effects
called
box.
Leading by Example.
I like it.
And it's what we do here. How many times, I'm putting you on the spot here, but how many times have we, I was going to say crossed over, but that just sounds like we're starting a new segment on the show where we do some, what's his name? James Van Prague.
Right.
Like medium stuff. Crossing over. How many times have we done a show with our friends Lindy and Meagan from the Text Me Back podcast?
I was literally going to ask you the
that's
same
nice foreshadowing,
question.
by the way.
Oh, that's right. Very
Rob
good.
Lowe
I'm doing
content.
an
We're going to hear
imitation of
more
Rob
Lowe content coming up.
I thought that this was either our third or fourth time, but I was going to ask you if you happen to know. I'm going to say three or four.
Sounds about right. If you are unfamiliar, if you're a TBTL listener and you're not familiar with Text Me Back, it's this phenomenal podcast Lindy West and Megan Hatcher-Mays do. They're actual real-life friends from high school, Garfield High in Seattle, also the alma mater of our friend P. Fletch, and our friend Ivan. If I'm just going to start, this is the part of the show where I name Garfield High alums.
Right. And just shout out to James Garfield, honestly.
Totally. Hey, make sure you check out Death by Lightning. It's an interesting mini-series on Netflix about the assassination of James Garfield.
You were telling me about that,
good.
I think. Somebody
Very
was.
interesting. It's got Michael Shannon. It's got Nick Offerman.
Oh, you mean Michael Shannon from Pottersville?
I mean Michael Shannon from one of my favorite REM cover bands.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean Michael Shannon from one of the weirdest Architectural Digest home tours I've ever seen.
Oh, you might have mentioned that before.
I don't know if I have,
weird?
I mean, Michael Shannon, it truly does seem to be a person who is not, how do I put it? He is very much marches to the beat of his own drummer, which probably is why he's a phenomenal actor and a pretty good singer. But he is when you see him interacting with interviewers, or in this case, so like Architectural Digest home tour is kind of the MTV Cribs for the New Yorker set. Same premise. We want to see what the inside of famous people's houses look like. But this is done with a little bit, I guess, maybe it's a little more understated. But they go to Michael Shannon's. He's got this cool apartment in New York, and it's just like him talking about the stuff in the apartment and where it came from. It's just so he seems, and I don't think he's in any way trying to be unhelpful. He seems like he could fall asleep at any moment. He may still be recovering from the bullet that he took playing James Garfield in Death by Lightning. But anyway,
pardon me. How unprofessional was that? What happened to me? I couldn't even reach my mute button in time.
Came out. You know what that was? That was Death by Lightning. You can't go around being worried about it all the time, but when it happens, it's quite sudden.
It really is quite sudden. And maybe that was God trying to smite me before I picked some nits with you. But is it fair to say that he's in an REM cover band when he's just doing Michael Stipe's role with the band REM, with Michael Stipe standing next to him on stage, which I think is what's actually happening?
Well, he's doing that sometimes, but he's also been touring with a whole other dude.
Oh, okay.
Doing REM.
None of the original members of the band.
None of the original guys.
Okay.
And I forget, the other guy is maybe from like the Mountain Goats or something. The other dude is like kind of in a kind of a well-known, like maybe sort of indie band. But yeah, they've now, I think it started with what you're describing, which was Michael Shannon showing up and performing with REM, and now it's become its own thing where I think he might be literally currently touring. Anyway,
Jason Narducci, is that the name you're looking for?
Yeah, where's that guy from? Not the Mountain Goats.
I'm looking this up now because I'm totally out of my element here. He seems to be listed as like kind of a solo musician. I'm looking to see, like the first line on Wikipedia doesn't seem to associate him with any band. And I guess I was like, well, what do they call? These are famous people who are doing a cover band of a very famous. What would they call it? Is it something clever? Is it based on an REM song? I think they're just calling themselves Michael Shannon and Jason Narducci and Friends. And they just perform REM songs, which I kind of appreciate. Like, let's not be super clever about this, and let's not call ourselves Chronic Town or, some sort of, which there's nothing wrong with that either, but they're just like, we're doing this thing and we're just going to tell you what it is.
Narducci deserves a quiet night. Not that this is exactly fame and fortune, but it looks like Narducci he was touring with Bob Mould.
Oh, okay.
For a period of time. That seems to be the highest profile thing that I can find here. You know what though? Let's see. His current solo project, split single, blah blah blah. It features some John Worster is on the drums. That's a Mountain Goat.
Okay.
So I think this was all blending together in my mind. He also toured with Sunny Day Real Estate.
Okay.
But I guess what I would say is I apologize that we ran out of time for our conversation with Meagan and Lindy because we spent a little too much time talking about Michael Shannon and Architectural Digest. Here's what I was trying to say. Lindy and Meagan are real high school friends who have now maintained their real adult friendship. And the very name of their podcast, Text Me Back, is born out of the fact that one of them would text one of them something. And then it would be, I think it was mostly Lindy, because I'm friends with Lindy as well. And it would take Lindy too long to text Meagan back. So then the text would start to be, text me back. Like, hey, get back into this conversation. So they decided that the text relationship wasn't working and they should start recording these conversations. And boy, aren't we all the beneficiaries of that, because that is the impetus for the Text Me Back podcast.
And I just have a grand time doing this, Luke. That sounds like a fake thing to say, but I was telling you off air where I'm nothing but real. You've said before that I'm almost too real sometimes.
I'm uncomfortable most of the time.
Right.
Because I keep saying, we're not recording this anywhere, are we? Because you are getting freaking, you're Yahoo serious.
That's right. I'm so serious they call me
Sunny Day Real Estate.
So anyway, but I was just saying before the show today that I just really, after we recorded this, I just was like feeling like, God, what a fun hang. It just really always feels like a fun hang. And I think that translates. And I love hanging out with them. And I think that what you and I do together matches very well what they do together. And I think when all four of us get together, it's just the right vibe. And so I hope listeners are vibing with us.
You and I and John have talked about what are the podcasts that we could do these sort of crossover shows with where we think there's a decent chance that our listeners will really like what the other podcast is doing and the other podcast will really like what we're doing, and therefore maybe grow both listening audiences. And again, as you said, just have a fun time. Right. And I'll be honest with you, it's sort of a short list because of like how, I don't know, whatever the DNA of our show. There are not a bunch of other shows that we actually think we have that much, I guess you might say, sort of synergy with, connective tissue,
sure,
crossover, just vibe sharing. And so it's been really fun to get to do this with them because it's always just like the other thing, Andrew, is you and I, we got a lot of big ideas. And we follow through on a lot of them, but there's a lot that we don't follow through on. And this is one that we have been because that's how much fun it is. Like at some point we're like, we should try to do more shows with Text Me Back. Usually that's the last we speak of any particular idea that we have.
Something shiny catches our eye and we just move on.
And that's not been the case with this not because we can point to any particular audience growth or anything else. It's because we love getting to talk to Meagan and Lindy. So that's what you all are about to hear. I believe this starts where every good podcast overlap starts, Andrew, with a dog violently barking in the background and possibly interrupting the broadcast. But no, we pushed on and had this conversation with Meagan and Lindy. So here we go. It's TMBTBTL, the dog, happening right now on your podcast.
Oh, good. Kevin's involved.
Perfect timing. He must have heard me hit the button.
Yarp, 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 he says. Well, and with that sound, we know it's time to record podcast because Kevin only does that the second someone hits record. So it must be podcast hour.
That's right. But you know what? Kevin knows what he's doing because you know what podcast this is? It's not any old podcast. This is...
I'm sorry. I tuned in for Text Me Back podcast. Is this something else?
No, this is something even better. It's called Timptle of the Dog.
Bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay.
And Kevin's a dog. Do you get it?
Kevin is a dog. And that's true. Luke and Andrew are here. Or shall we say we're there? Because we're in their Riverside, which means we don't have access to any of the stupid nonsense on our media board, which is unfortunate. So Lindy can't play the Trump drop where he's like, very rich, fat shot drug. So unfortunately, the listeners can't hear that. But welcome, Andrew and Luke, to your own Riverside recording studio. It's beautiful to be with you.
It's amazing to see you. Thank you for sliding into our Riverside.
Yes, I love what we've done with the place. Thank you.
We have so many Trump drops that we can play from here if you need us to. Although we actually, I think was it after the first one, Andrew? The first election, we just said we laid off. It was kind of like we couldn't figure out for us personally the line between it's funny because it's ridiculous or it just kind of kills something inside of us.
Our listeners actually have banned them, and I'm not allowed to play.
We did. We took a poll, and then they immediately everyone said don't do that, and then we violated the sacred trust and played them a bunch the next week, and I still feel bad about that.
Then we never did it again. Never
did it again.
We played him like crazy leading up to the first election because it was like, what a silly thing that this person thinks they could be president. Everything they say is humorous because it's so misguided, and it just has. I don't know if you've been tracking it, but it's gotten less funny.
I haven't been paying attention at all. So just let me know if anything happens that I need to know about. Yeah, well, so on our show we have something we call the No Giggle Pledge, and we invented it during the election in 2024 because I am so sorry to say this, everything that comes out of that guy's mouth is sensational.
It's comedy gold.
So funny. He's so funny, and frankly, the fact that he is the president makes it funnier because why is the president asking each of his cabinet members who's on Ozempic? Like what? And what am I watching? Why is he saying we're going to lose 800 billion pounds before the midterms? The midterms? Hello? So, so it's just insane. So we, during the election, Lindy and I were like, okay, we're going to try really hard not to laugh at anything Trump says because now we're in this very serious moment where he might get elected again. And unfortunately, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but he did get elected again. Yeah, he totally did get elected again. So we were like, every time we laugh at something Trump says, we'll donate $5 to Kamala Harris. And sadly, it did bankrupt Text Me Back podcast. Text Me Back podcast is no longer solvent because we had to donate all our money to Kamala
In the words
Harris.
of Maya Rudolph, to what end?
To what end? Why would Donald Trump want to
roast my
bowflex, flood my basement? But it happened. He did do that. And now we are gonna do World War III, I guess. If we can remember the difference between Greenland and Iceland, then we will invade.
So how are you guys doing keeping politics out of the podcast?
So good. So good. No, this is our second vertical Timtal of the dog.
Oh, true.
We have Text Me Back Maine.
Uh-huh.
We have Swamp Person, and then this is our third part of our media empire.
Swamp Person is a great name, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And I was saying this before we started recording, and I don't know if this is sort of public to y'all's Text Me Back listeners or not, that you're thinking about maybe doing a show that's more politics based. Is that public knowledge?
It is, yeah. So we asked our listeners, because we talk a lot about politics on the show, and sort of. I mean, but sometimes something so bad happens that I feel like Lindy and I need to process it. And what's going on in Minneapolis is one of those times where it's like we can't just do a show where we're like, anyways, then the frog pretended to be a cop. You know what I mean? Like we kind of have to acknowledge that the government is extrajudicially killing people. Yes. And the reason that our show exists is to try to keep everybody alive through this crisis and make sure everyone's in the right headspace to fight back, not to ignore that this stuff is going on. But there are a lot of people who listen to our show who are just like that. This is my escape room. So
and I can't solve the puzzle to get out.
Yeah.
That's how you keep listeners.
Yes, we lock them inside the Text Me Back podcast.
Is this Saw? Please let us out of TBTL.
I'm taking notes.
Never. And we at Text Me Back podcast support dissociation. So if you want to dissociate from society, we want to help you do that too. So what we're going to try to do is, the show, it's not possible for any podcast to be apolitical. And if it is, that is a political choice in and of itself.
Yeah.
But to the extent that we might have a big guest who comes on to explain actually what's going on, because I know some things, but I don't know everything. And so,
but you know a lot of things, Megan.
I know
because,
a fair number of things.
You and I, after you and Lindy and I were in Seattle doing my radio show, we went out afterwards, and you and I were talking about this stuff, and I was immediately struck by how really deep your knowledge is of this stuff. So I mean, I really do mean that. You know your stuff.
I have a lot of debt to show for it too. So subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/textmebackpod, and free me from the shackles of student loan debt. But anyway, so one time we had United States Senator Jeff Merkley on our show. That sort of thing would live on Swamp Person. It's not going to be a weekly thing, but just a little extra something to help people contextualize what's going on, because this is unprecedented times that we live in, and I do miss the precedented very much.
Yes.
Very much.
Who knew?
Yeah.
How much the precedented had going for it, at least for certain people.
For reals.
Luke and I have messed around with isolating content in the show because we like sports. So sometimes we would talk too much sports, and folks would say, hey, could you keep that for the end of the show? So we call that no point conversion. I believe a guest or a listener came up with that, which is one of my favorite titles of any little mini project. And we did that for Game of Thrones and stuff too. If you want people to embrace your political conversations more, I would recommend spending a week going deep on Mariners bullpen decisions, and then they will come racing back for the politics talk.
So we didn't get that deep, but during the Mariners playoffs run, which still hurts me so much, so much, we talked about baseball a lot.
And we did. Yeah,
we did. I was processing my baseball feelings, and Lindy was also there. and
says the person who looks like she's waiting for her stepdad to pick her up and take her to the game. I'm talking about Lindy West right now.
I don't know if you can see what my hat says though.
Does it say baseball? Oh no, it says basketball.
It says basketball.
Okay, that's a different ball entirely.
It's a great look, by the way, Lindy.
You do look like you're about to go play t-ball for Beacon Plumbing or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, And it went on for like 2 weeks, and then it was over. But we got quite a few comments on Spotify and the other podcast platforms being like, "Okay, girl, I think we've heard enough about baseball."
TBTL fully turned into a baseball podcast for about one solid month, and I'm talking 5 days a week.
Yeah.
It was because, when you do shows like this, you're mostly just talking about whatever is happening in your life or whatever is occupying your mind at that time. And for me and Andrew, certainly, as the Mariners were like going through the playoffs, that was the only thing occupying our mind. So it's like very difficult to not like just end up talking about it every day for hours on end.
Do you feel that way about the Seahawks, or did you give up NFL? Because I gave up NFL, and now I'm being tested like I've never been tested before, because they're one game away from the Super Bowl.
Andrew started low-keying his NFL because he volunteers at a pop-up that serves food and coffee to folks who are unhoused on Sunday. Yes,
how you like
my
that,
friends? Not all heroes wear capes, and so he kind of sort of stepped back, which actually was like very inspiring. And I then stepped forward to make up for him, and now I'm watching for two.
Well,
I'm watching so hard.
The other side of that coin is guess who already talked to his fellow volunteers and took this Sunday off of his volunteering gig, so he can watch the championship.
I think I'm going to watch. I'm a little bit scared. I'm really stressed. This is what we talked about on our show, at the risk of recreating this all over again on your show. Is I'm a really stressed sports watcher. I feel personally involved. I feel like the decisions I make on game day affect the outcome of the game. Like, am I wearing the right shirt? Am I wearing the right hat? Am I paying attention enough? Am I paying attention too much? Because if I get too excited, that will also potentially negatively impact the game. And I would like to share a memory from before I knew you, Luke. I remember Lindy I must have been living in DC at the time, and Lindy texted me and was like, "Oh, my friend invited me to the NFC Championship game. I guess he has an extra ticket in this box." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Are you gonna go?" And she's like, "No, I don't care about that at all." And I was like, "What?" And meanwhile, I'm in my kitchen in my Richard Sherman jersey or whatever. And I was like, "You have to go. What the fuck are you talking about?" And she's like, "Yeah, my friend Luke." And I was like, "Who's Luke? He has an extra ticket?" I was like, "What time is the get? Can I come? Can I fly 5 hours and get there in time?" She's like, "No." And I'm not going to go either. I was like, "Well, did anyone take the ticket?" She's like, "I don't think so." And then it ended up being like one of the greatest football games ever played, not just like in the history of the Seattle Seahawks, but potentially in the entire NFC. Lindy, Jesus Christ, I think about it all the time.
And Lindy, actually, do you know? And for the real heads, this will be a funny update. Do you know who did take one of the tickets? Daniel Savage.
Did he really?
Yup.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was literally like I think Alaska Airlines had this box, and I think I was, for the people that worked in their marketing department at the time, and I remain a very small micro celebrity, getting more micro as the years go on. But they were like, we need to try to get some local Seattle heat in our fancy box. We'll ask Luke, but we'll also kind of let him know that we really need him to invite some people that are more famous than him. So I reached out to Lindy, Ken Jen, who came, Dan Savage. Nice. I'm trying to remember who else, but it was a motley crew in that box.
Let me check my messages. I can't remember if I
from 2014
got that call or not.
So you didn't invite me because you wanted to spend time with me as your friend?
Nobody wants to spend time.
I really wanted to spend time with you, but I wanted to spend time with you as my friend and as a friend who would maybe tweet about it.
Yeah. Hashtag ad, hashtag Alaska Air Partners.
Hashtag caught in the middle. I was trying to keep Alaska Airlines happy. I was trying to get to see the game in the box. I had a lot going on.
Was it fun? I have the vaguest memory of being asked.
This game.
It was and Text Me Backers, get ready to email in about how unrelatable this content is, but it was an extremely exciting end to the game that the Seahawks did win. If I remember right, we had a full life-size cutout of Richard Sherman, the Seahawk, like a cardboard cutout.
Nice.
In the box for some reason, which we then stole and walked through after the game, a totally jubilant crowd of people who were all just high-fiving a
Yes.
cardboard Richard Sherman.
Well, for Lindy's awareness, because you might not know, Richard Sherman kind of single-handedly saved the game. For the Seahawks.
I vaguely remember this. Yeah.
I still have his post-game interview memorized.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't need to get into that, but don't
No,
you open your mouth.
let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
Let's
Don't
hear
you
it.
open your mouth about the best. LOB. Who was talking about you? Crabtree. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Anyway, I think about it all the time.
I can't believe your listeners don't want more of this.
I know, this is amazing.
Megan, have you considered a third vertical, which is just your Richard Sherman impressions? Because I would become a power user of that.
Did you?
You and Andrew would be my top and only subscribers.
And maybe Richard Sherman.
And donors.
Maybe, yeah.
Luke, is this also the game where you ended up on Brock Heward's shoulders at one point? Or I
No,
assume
that-
he didn't end up on yours.
Actually, that might have been the same game. It was a very tense season, and there's a kind of a local Seattle sports guy, Brock Heward. He was like a quarterback for the college team, and now he's like a sports broadcaster.
Quite handsome.
We were in one of those. Oh man, I got stories. One, I asked his wife out in college when I didn't know that they were engaged. I sent her, like, she was in my geology class at the UW, and I had a large crush on her. And I wouldn't probably do this now, but like the professor, it was called Rocks for Jocks, and the professor sent out an email but didn't know about BCC, or like, you didn't know how to do, like, he sent an email to the whole class that had every single person's email address on it.
Sure.
And I found her email address, and I sent her a message respectfully, just said, hey, and she was a basketball player for the UW too, and I was sort of like, hey, I think you're swell. If you ever want to get a cup of coffee, let me know. Total crickets. And then like a week later,
Then you
I read
said,
in the,
"Aw shucks," I believe.
yeah, I read in the
Ding
UW
dong.
Daily that like she and Brock Heward were engaged, and because he was also in the class, which I didn't think was related to her
Sure.
being there. But anyway, they got married. They have like 80 kids, and they're all they're living their life in Issaquah. But Brock
No, I
Heward
think
and
in
after-
Arizona now. By the way, I think they went to
okay.
live free somewhere. Yes.
Sure. But we, after one of these really exciting football games from that season that we're talking about, Brock and I were hugging and spinning in like a dervish. We were so excited at the end of the game. His wedding ring flew off.
And you
in the
swallowed
luxury
it.
box. It went right into Dan Savage's mouth. Yeah. It could not, if I remember right, it could not be located for, I think, maybe a while, maybe that night. And he had to go home to this gal who I had once tried to ask on a date
And
and
that's
explained
when
that
you
he had
made your move.
He had lost his exactly. Checkmate, Brock. He had to try to explain to her why he didn't have his wedding ring because he had been spinning around like a dervish with me celebrating the Seahawks.
Somehow his wedding ring fell off.
Right?
Whoopsie.
Exactly. So,
Well, anyway, that was my first memory of Luke Burbank, even though I didn't know you. But, that's okay.
I'll take
next
that,
time.
even though Lindy turned down the request.
I'm honestly surprised that I did, because even though I didn't care about football, I liked doing stuff back then.
It's a fun thing. Well, if I ever get, how about this? Again, my star has really, I'm like an actual star. I burned out 8 years ago, but the light hasn't reached the earth yet, so nobody knows it. But if I ever get another invite, Lindy and Megan and Andrew, you're on the list. This is the core group, okay?
Finally.
great.
Jesus.
made it.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Great.
made
This is
it.
the core group.
Hey, speaking of power moves, can I just say something here? And I don't know that
I
the
wish you
listeners
would.
can see this or not, because you guys put this all on YouTube. Am I right about that? You still doing that? You
Yes.
put this whole thing on YouTube?
We do.
I don't think our little title cards are going to show up on YouTube, but I'm just looking at the power dynamics here based on the names we entered. I see that we have a Lindy West and an Andrew Walsh, full names, proper, I think. Megan is kind of like, I can just do one name. They know who I am. I'd be invited to the NFC Championship box at this point. Luke has labeled himself Luke Host. And I feel like that's a power move. What's going on with that? Are you in charge here?
I don't think there's any benefit to us dancing around the fact that I'm the host of this. I think it honestly insults all of us to pretend that it's otherwise. No, you know what? I think this speaks to my deep misunderstanding of the program that we're using, Riverside, because Andrew was in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and so I was hosting the show, meaning also I was from a technical standpoint. And I think where it wanted me to put my name in, I thought was the part where I let it know that I'm supposed to be the person recording it. So I changed my name, Luke Host, to Luke Host unintentionally, but actually, it kind of has a nice ring to it.
I like it. You know what it reminds me of is we were chatting after Livewire, and we were like, oh, because we had kind of talked about maybe trying to get together in person to record something.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke was like, Andrew can't do it. He's got something at 4. And it made me laugh and laugh. And then I was like, well, I've been wondering, like, who is the Luke and who is the Andrew of each? And it just fell into place so obviously after Luke said this, because, like, Luke and Lindy just want to record all the time. Never not recording.
Well,
Meagan and Andrew have something at 4.
Andrew doesn't not want to record, in my opinion, but you had something going on that day, Andrew, that I think meant we needed to either record in the morning or not do it.
Okay.
So I think we would not do it.
I'm sorry if I'm bringing up
No, I have no idea what it was.
bad. No, it was just really funny because I was like, yeah, I can't do more than one thing in a day either. I'm good.
Wait, I'm looking at my calendar now. It was a nap. Actually,
that's not true. Don't. That's not fair. Because I am the napper in this relationship, and Andrew is not.
I've gotten more into naps. If we want to talk about this for a little bit, because I'd like to know your reaction to this. I'm more of a sleep in late person than a nap in the middle of the day, but I've been trying to incorporate both into my life lately. And for naps, I have a rule, which is I'm allowed to nap if I don't turn onto my side. If I only sleep on my back. And because I'm a side sleeper when I really get into my sleep, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I just stay on my back, then it's a nap. But if I go to turn into fetal position, then I've gone too far and I've just got to sleep through the night.
I actually know exactly what you mean. It's like you got to keep it casual.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're on your back or even like 3/4 sitting up, you have plausible deniability that this was an accident.
Yes.
I have that. That's on my couch. The rule is I can't be fully reclined if I'm leaning back. And the other problem is I put this powder in my hair so that my hair looks less thin. It's called Topic, but it's supposed to stick to your hair follicles with static cling, but a lot of it still comes off. And my couch cushion was getting covered in it. So I now have like a special blanket that I keep on this one couch cushion, but it's the one for your back. And I sit up kind of, but then I go to sleep, but it feels like you're both saying that if I'm not fully reclined, I'm not really sleeping like a full nap. And that seems to be like less lazy of me or something.
Yeah. Sometimes I will like, leave on a particularly uncomfortable item of clothing. So, because if I take it off, like, remove a bra or like a pair of jeans, something that would make my nap way more comfortable, then it's too much like going to bed. I'm committing too hard. And I'll actually get in my head about it to the point where I will nap better in the uncomfortable item than if I took it off, because if I took it off, I start to feel guilty and I can't fall asleep.
Is napping in shoes totally off the table for you? Or are you a shoes off house?
Not at hotels. It's on the table at hotels. I just did it recently.
It would have to be only if it was in public, like on a plane or in a waiting room of some kind. Not if I'm in my own space. No.
I've napped in shoes. That's another way that I'm keeping it cash with the nap. Just leave the shoes on.
Maybe if I was at someone else's house and they were like, I have to go do an hour-long phone meeting or something, and they were a shoes-on house. Yeah, okay, I might lean myself over on the couch with my shoes still on. I would never put them on the couch, but like my feet still on the floor, but then my body kind of diagonally. Yeah, I could see that.
Nice.
And I would like it. And I like the thought of it.
I went to a party recently, Andrew. I meant to tell you about this. And I rolled up. And for some reason, I had decided I sort of bought these boots that I've been wearing lately that are pretty involved to lace up. I'm trying to mix it up from just my normal like white sneakers look. And I got to this get together and to my horror, I hadn't even opened the door. This was at someone's house I don't know particularly well. I looked through the little glass of the door, and the first 3 people I saw did not have their shoes on.
Oh.
And this was very far from where I live. This was hours from where I live. And I just was like, I froze, and I thought, like, did anybody make me? Could I duck down and get out of here. And then I opened the door and I realized some people had taken their shoes off out of courtesy, and at least one person hadn't. And that was all I needed, was to have one other person validating my decision. And so I shoesed on it.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot on the show, and I'm not saying that I'm right about this or that I have any kind of justice to stand on, but like I'm old now. I'm like 49 and like increasingly sort of set in my ways and cranky and other things that people love about me and find attractive. And one of the things that I say now is like, if you live in a shoes off house where you throw shoes off parties, like I don't want to say that you're wrong to do that in any way. Of course you're not. But I am going to straight up say, no, I don't go to shoes off parties anymore. Like, I'm just going to be honest about it. Like, I don't like socializing with my shoes off, you know, unless it was some sort of a beach blanket bingo kind of situation, which I don't see myself at those either.
It's happening constantly.
Right, exactly. I did get your Evite.
Somebody raised Annette Funicello from the dead.
But like, I just feel like, well, listen, it might not make you like me anymore, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I'm busy. I have something at 4. I'm just going to say, you know, I'm not really comfortable in that situation.
Are people putting that on invites?
No, you have to know the people. You got to know.
You have to know. Oh, so at any moment,
you have
it could
to visit their house
surprise.
under the cover of night weeks before the event and just do a little recon.
Yeah.
I see they're wearing shoes. It's safe. Speaking of being grumpy, can I
Please.
share a tiding? We don't have our song, but Lindy and I have it tidings, and mine's a real. Can we get Rooney up in here? Can we like evoke the spirit of Andy Rooney? Yeah, not
sure.
Sally.
Yeah, I actually have some audio for that if you'd like. If you just give me 1 second
I
here.
would.
It might not be yours. We do a segment on my other podcast, which is about TV commercials. It's called After These Messages.
You let Andrew have other podcasts?
Oh.
This thing Luke hosts in Riverside is really just in title only. It comes with no actual power over Andrew.
So sorry for all the cross promotion here, but we do a little segment on After These Messages where I complain about things. We call it Andy's Corner.
And now, a few minutes with Andy.
Old man, look at my life. I consider myself to be an absolutely dead center, normal, average American.
My opinion that a great many women have one thing in common. They spend too much time and money fooling around with their hair.
I don't use foul language, and I don't like to hear anyone else use it either. It's a fancy bottle. I bet that bottle costs more than the water. When does a rainforest lose its virginity anyway?
All right, you're in the clear.
Why did he say that?
Going off about virgin rainforests.
Now I regret tying myself to the fate of Rooney. But can I just say one thing, by the way? I feel like Andy Rooney died, parentheses, question mark. And then I feel like they never named a new national curmudgeon. Like they never, like, who is that? I want to be that. Who's going to be the curmudgeon laureate of the United States now that he's been dead for question mark? Is he dead?
He is dead.
Okay.
He is dead. It's certainly not me, but what I have done weirdly as a job thing is done these commentaries for CBS Sunday Morning, which is kind of the the beginning part of that like day of like CBS programming.
Yes.
And what I found out really fast from doing these commentaries was that you become Andy Rooney so fast because what is an interesting take, it's not just like, hey, I had this the other day, it was really great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only interesting take is like what this is really grinding my gears, or like I did one about you want to hear more Rooney than Rooney. This was when Twitch had been sold for like $1 billion or something. I mean, this is years and years ago. I think it had been sold maybe to Facebook or Meta or somebody. And I was like, my mind was blown because I'd never been on Twitch. I didn't understand how big of a thing it was really going to be. I just knew it was a place you could like watch other people play video games. And an actual line in my commentary was like, that's like watching someone else's paint dry.
Can I say I know about this because when I was in Wisconsin for the holidays, my mother-in-law and I watched your CBS This Morning about bagging your own groceries at the grocery store. I hate that too. I don't.
Isn't that Rooney though? I'm like, if they're gonna make us work there, we should get a discount.
I have the opposite.
It's so true though.
I know you're building towards something.
Laughed and laughed. Oh, she loved it.
But I am the opposite. I push the baggers away. I try to do it as politely as possible, but I always just say, "No, I got it." And if they're like, "No, I'd like to help," I'm like, "I got a system. I just have a system."
Andrew might be one of the world's great shopping, grocery shopping bag fillers.
I've gotten compliments. It's the highest compliment you can get from the
From a
cashier.
bagger?
Yes.
Nice.
I will say I don't like doing it, and I'm not good at the bag filling necessarily, but I do have this like teacher's pet energy where, because people are always bad at doing the self-checkout, they're always breaking the machine and standing there motionless for hours on end, hovering over a and I do, every time I do it, I'm like, oh, look at me. Like, I am showing off. Like, someone's going to be like, wow, she really knows how to work that machine.
Don't worry about me, Lindy. I have the PLU number for bananas memorized.
Yes.
4011, fucko. Okay, but here's my real one. Okay, so I had to go to downtown Washington on Sunday for an appointment. A salon appointment to get my mustache waxed. Okay, just in full transparency. I drive down there thinking this is not going to be a problem. It's Sunday. Okay, I'll just park somewhere on the street, and if not, I'll park in a parking garage. Perhaps you've heard of this invention. It's a garage where you can park your car. You know what I mean? So I drive down there, no street parking. I'm like, fine, backup plan. I'm going to park this car in the parking garage. Also, I'm sorry that I drove. I should have just taken the train, but I didn't feel like doing that. Anyways, but all the parking garages are closed because none of the business boys needed to go to Washington, D.C. on Sunday because it's a weekend and they don't work on weekends, So only like 3 parking garages in the whole city were open. And I'm like, fine, I'll just go into one of them. So I drive into one. It wasn't a parking garage. It was the budget rent-a-car return depot. So I said, oh no, this isn't a parking garage at all. Let me back up out of here.
Famously an easy thing to do at a rental car lot.
Yes, where all of the cars are triple parked.
And there are never weird spike teeth embedded in the concrete.
It was amazing, and all the budget guys got to watch me do this where I was like, have a good Sunday. And I drove off and I'm like, fine, whatever. So I'll go around the block and go to the other one that I saw. But of course, every other street is one way. I had to go like 7 blocks and then I turn back around and I drive back down the street. I'm like, okay, I'm locked in. I'm going to go into the parking garage. I go to the second one and it just doesn't work. It's not giving out tickets. Everybody's pressing the phone button for assistance, and the person's just going, no. And so we all are leaving. So I'm like, fine, I'll go around the block again. Again, it's a whole situation because of the one-way street situation. So then I'm like, okay, I think I saw another one. I'm going to try to go into that one. And I remember there was a sign that said, just drive in. And I thought that was weird because what else would you do? What do you mean?
What else would you do?
What do you mean just drive in? What was the alternative? What are they doing at the other parking garages if not just driving in? But whatever, it's fine. At least I know it's open. So I go around the block and I go in. I just drive in. And as I drive in, the parking attendant runs out and he's waving his hands like, hey. And I was like, huh? And by the way, there's no gate.
On-demand abortion clinic.
Yeah. I was like, what's happening? And then he's like, because there's no gate, there's no ticket to be seen. Okay, just drive in, they say. So I just drove in. He didn't like that. And he's waving his arms dramatically on the ramp like, ma'am! And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? So I rolled down my window and I'm like, yes? And he's like, did you want to park here? And I said, yeah, I did. And he's like, okay, well, you have to pay with your phone. And I said, great. And I look up and I see there's signs everywhere with the QR code. I'm like, fine. I'm a veteran of the QR code wars, they call them.
You may now board the airplane first.
I got the joke off. Anyways, so I'm like, I'll just scan the fucking QR code. That's what the signs are here for. No, n'est-ce pas? Okay. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, you got to pay on your phone. I was like, okay. And I'm like, go to drive. And he's like, you have to give me your phone number. And I was like, okay. So I give him my phone number. He's like, because I'm going to text you the link. Then you got to click the link, and then you have to make an account. And he's like standing right next to my car with his little iPad, texting me the link, and then I got to click the link, and I'm making a whole account. I have to enter in my debit card. He's like, and then I say, and as I'm saying it, I could feel myself morphing like the Michael Jackson black and white video into Andy Rooney. And I say to him, seems like we should have just kept the ticket system. And he says nothing. He doesn't acknowledge my bitch ass at all. And I finally set up the thing, and I was like, am I good? He's like, yeah, you're good. I go in. I could have done all of that from the QR code. I didn't need to be involved with him at all. And I just was sitting there thinking, in what way is that an improvement over the gate and the ticket system? This was the worst of both worlds, because now I got to do the QR code thing, but with an assistant, like with a helper, while he stands by my car for an extra 7 minutes. Now the parking garage has to pay this guy for being a human QR code. Just bring back the gate and the ticket. What the fuck? Here's the worst part. I go and I drive down, and there's no parking. All of the spots are blocked off. So I drive all the way down to P3, and I'm thinking, big whoop. I'll just take the elevator up. There is no elevator in the parking garage. I had to walk up 4 flights of stairs into some random lobby and walk out. And as the door was closing behind me, I'm thinking, I hope I can
never
get
getting
back.
that car back.
I know. I just thought, I hope I can get back in that lobby, because it's like a business lobby to a corporate building. I go to my appointment. I come back. They don't let me back in the lobby. They don't let me back into the lobby at all. The guy just looks at me like, hello, may I help you? And I was like, I guess
He's
not.
like, a lady did come through here earlier with a mustache.
Was that
totally different.
Do you know her? So I had to walk down the ramp, exposed, got my car, and then it says, just drive out. We'll just charge you. Just drive out. So I just drove out. I'm waiting for this man to chase me out to the road and demand that I just drive out with him involved, but he didn't. Then I get my receipt, and for less than 30 minutes of parking in this hellhole of a parking garage, $13.
Jeez.
I just would like to complain about that. Bring back the gate and the ticket, or let me use the QR code without having to interact with other human beings. Pick one.
I can't believe that guy really worked for the parking garage.
Yeah.
I thought where the story was going was this was a scam.
Or he just wanted your number.
Yeah.
Hello. Well, he was wearing a uniform. And
That
he
used to
apparently
be-
had the key to the parking garage. He opened it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know.
see. I thought you were just driving in. Like, that used to be the hustle in, like, Seattle, too, right? At those, like, diamond parking lots and stuff. You'd have a lot of folks that would kind of run up to you. They'd get a little blue jacket, and then they'd come up and collect your money when you were parking, and they didn't work there.
Oh, I've never heard
Which
of that.
I found to be kind of
So smart.
really smart, and kind of like a charming old school scam.
I like that.
Like,
Honestly,
I kind of was into it.
if I got by that, I'd be like, nice.
Right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, especially if they put a little work into it and made a whole backstory, and they were like, buongiorno, I am Antonio from the parking company.
From a Diamante parking garage.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, who's going to pay for the uniforms if not us rubes? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So anyway, I just wanted to complain about that because I've been mad about it for 3 days.
Your
So thank
upper
you.
lip looks flawless, though. I
Thank
just want to tell
you.
everyone who's listening to this as an audio-only product,
Thank
so
you
at
so
least it was
much.
worth it.
It was.
Meagan, I want to say I love this pitch for you to be the new Andy Rooney
Thank
of
you.
America. Mandy Rooney, maybe. And it occurred to me while you were talking that I think there's a role for me because you know who else has not been replaced is Willard Scott, who's celebrating the old people.
Oh my God, that's so true. Every now and again only will a representative of Smuckers appear on the Today Show set to be like, here's an old guy. We used to get that every day. What happened?
I was getting updates on. I knew every old person in this country when I was a kid.
Yes,
I could name them all. Like they were like Pokemons. And now I have no clue what they're getting up to.
I know what happened to my 97-year-old Bulbasaur.
Andrew, you have gotten into, or at least around Thanksgiving, you were playing old Macy's parades, and they had Willard Scott in them still, right?
Yeah, that's one of my things. I didn't really grow up watching the parades that much, so it's not even that, like, the parade itself isn't a nostalgia hit for me, but the commercials certainly are. You know, I'm kind of obsessed with commercials, and also just anything that makes me feel like a safe little boy again. And so so instead of watching, and first of all, I also like to sleep late, so I'm not catching any of the actual live Thanksgiving Day parades, but I will dial up on YouTube. They have the full things, like 90 minutes, 2 hours or whatever. Just choose one from like the 80s and then watch all of the tie-ins for the toys, the toy commercials with the floats, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Masters of the Universe type of stuff. It's wonderful.
Andrew, I didn't realize you were a commercial enthusiast. Have I ever told you about that I'm advertising royalty?
No.
It's true.
What?
It's true.
My father was an ad copywriter, and he wrote, I hope that this is going to ring a bell with you. He wrote those Bartles and James commercials with the two old guys where one of them talks and one of them doesn't talk.
Hell yes.
That was
know
your
that.
dad,
Yes.
Lindy?
Yeah.
She's got a life-size cutout of the B&J guys.
I do. Frank and Ed.
Was he at like McCann Erickson, or where was he at in Seattle?
No, it was in L.A. We lived in L.A. when I was little. At Daly and Associates was the agency.
Yeah, so I
where
was say
he
that's a
worked.
big national campaign. I was like surprised that was being handled at a little old Seattle.
That's huge.
No.
And
although he did, yeah.
You go.
So
No,
yes,
you go ahead, please.
Oh, he did do some. So we lived in LA when I was 4 to 8. So before that, he did local stuff in Seattle. I believe he came up with the slogan for Washington Mutual, "A friend of the family."
Oh,
so good.
That's a big time one.
He did also dress up as the creature from the Black Lagoon and play the piano on a float in Elliott Bay to advertise Ivers.
That's really good.
Did he write Keep Clam?
Did he what?
Did he write Keep Clam?
It's
which
possible.
I believe was the Ivers, the big Ivers.
Keep Clam
catchphrase
is
too.
really good.
Keep Clam.
I've never heard him brag about that, so I don't know for sure. And now he gone. But I can ask my mom.
My favorite Paul West local hit is the Bob Byers Volvo jingle, which is just Bob Byers Volvo. And just the way he sings, it's very jazzy. Very
Yeah, because he was a copywriter, but he was also a voice talent, and he was a musician, so he would write jingles, he would record the jingle, and he would do the radio ad. So
was that super cool for you as a kid, Lind, to hear, kind of, around Seattle? I would be so stoked about it. I just wanted my dad to get in the back page of Sign Maker magazine with one of his signs, and it didn't happen. Like, I would have been so geeked if I were you.
it was really cool, and nobody cared. But I was like, hey, I was like, on when you're listening to Cube 93, and then all of a sudden there's a commercial that tells you to recycle, and then a guy goes, recycling, it's easy to do. That's my dad. And everyone was like, I don't care.
Is anybody familiar with tradition to depend on Yonker Nissan?
Yonker Nissan. Remind me this, because I get these things conflated. I definitely remember the old guys. What are their names? Ed and what on the porch?
Frank.
Ed and Frank and Ed. But also you had Bruce Willis advertising a similar
Seagram's Golden Wine Coolers.
That was Seagram's? Okay, so it was not the same brand. So your dad was competing with Bruce Willis in a certain way.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. And he never recovered. That's why he died.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? I'm sorry I brought it up.
Well, you know what? He took a chunk out of Bruce Willis, too.
Yeah. Bruce Willis
He's not right.
is having a rough go of it as well. So,
He sure is.
That he
sure
is.
Those commercials, we were really obsessed in the early days of TBTL with the era where we were letting Bruce Willis's band just run amok.
Oh my God.
We were just treating it like it was a real thing.
And everyone was acting like it was not only normal, but great.
Yes.
Are you insane? Like, great news, everyone. Bruce Willis is here with his harmonica. And then the crowd would go, ah!
Yeah.
Yes! I was so hoping Bruce Willis would show up with his harmonica and do whatever the fuck it is he does with it. It was so weird.
Listen,
it was mental illness.
I'm sorry to both, as a man, cut you off and correct you, but I believe
Please.
that was Bruno who was playing the
Don't even get me started on Bruno, because he was it. Didn't he have a whole album that was like the life and times of Bruno
I
or some
believe
shit like
Yes,
that?
that might have been exactly what it was called.
Oh God! Why would you say Bruno to me? I'm so unsettled at the memory of that. Oh my God! I want to say, has a cover of one of the best songs ever written, "Respect Yourself" by the Staple Singers, and it's hideous.
Wow!
And I want to say that it charted. What is wrong with what was going on? Ronald Reagan was putting drugs in the water, and everyone was like, let Bruno live. Let him cook.
Let him cook. I think the reason that you're also slightly confused, Andrew, is because those products, Bartles and James and Seagram's, close together, but then the commercials, the Bartles and James guys are often on their front porch, right? Or the kind of wrap around. And in the Seagram's golden wine coolers, Bruce Willis starts out in a bar, and I believe the music is flowing through him with such vigor that he ends up outside on a porch, doing a whole shuffle. Like they were like, the commercials were very visually close to each other, except some of them were good, the ones Lindy's dad made, and some of them were bad, the ones that had Bruno in them.
That's
Oh my
right.
God. By the way, the name of the album is The Return of Bruno.
Oh yeah.
And on the cover, he's got his arms crossed and he's smirking like, "Meh,
Yeah.
Return of Bruno." Meh, meh. Just like you all been clamoring for.
Yeah.
Apparently,
When
the
is
re-
Bruno
the
going to
return of me.
return? Waiting for Brunot, right? Famously.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
And we have a show title. I don't know about you
How do we represent that I said Bruno like Godot, though?
Put a T on the end. Put a T on the end.
Wow, Lindy, who's a professional writer
That's
now?
right.
Bruno.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of me being a professional writer, I have a segue into my tiding.
Go on.
I've written a book.
Oh.
Yeah, I've written book number 4 of mine. I've written 4 books.
Is it 4?
And
I thought we were on 5. Well, this
Well,
is so wonderful.
It's 5 if you count the little book the Stranger staff made.
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've written my 4th solo book. It's called Adult Braces. It's coming out March 10th, but this is neither here nor there. I mean, it's here. It's here in that you should. Here you go. It's time to click on the pre-order link.
Absolutely.
Pre-orders, very important for authors to get on lists that cause other people to buy our books, apparently. Please pre-order my book. It's called Adult Braces. Thank you. But in the lead up to the book coming out, I have to do something called learn how to be an influencer, so that I can, because that's the only way you can get the information to the people, especially to the young people. Okay?
Should have come to that Seahawks game with me.
Dude, I regret it every day. I didn't remember about it at all, but now that I've been reminded, I'm retroactively ruining the day. So I have been making makeup tutorial videos. I've been making get ready with me videos. I've been doing story time. I'm doing it all. I'm about to start. I'm gonna make which chapter of my book are you based on your zodiac sign or whatever.
Oh, nice.
I'm getting in there and I'm doing the work. And actually, let me tell you, they're not lying. I made a book trailer, a 3-part book trailer. I posted the first one on Monday. Instant 4,000 new followers, which could be fake, but I was like,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I was like, oh, it really, they like it when you make the content.
Yeah,
and then it rewards you. So now I'm hooked on the attention. And one of the upcoming videos I'm going to make, and here's where my tiding comes in, and that's also slightly a game. I'm going to do fantasy casting for the Adult Braces movie / TV show. So I need help deciding who's playing me. And I think we could do, since it's fantasy, it could be anyone alive or dead. And Also, we could, since it's fantasy, we could pretend the three of you are in the book. You're not, but we could pretend you are.
What do I got to do to get in one of your books?
Well, you could marry me and then decide you want to be polyamorous.
Your thoughts?
I floated that.
That's what I was asking you to the NFC Championship game for. Jesus.
God damn it. Okay, no, but if you guys want to, so here's what I was thinking for myself. I need help. I need this to be, I need this to go viral. I was thinking, Margot Robbie in a fat suit for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or CGI.
Mm-hmm. Or Chris Farley. We could do.
That would be non-traditional casting.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, anyone have any other ideas? I could do maybe like the fairy godmother from Disney Cinderella.
You might want to think about somebody who's just has a lot of buzz right now.
Oh.
Yeah. And one person is that girl Odessa Azion, who is everywhere. I can't name a single thing she's in, but she's in all of my bloids.
Do you know
every single tabloid.
You know a single thing that her mom was in?
I know a single thing her mom was in, but then she like changed her name to be Sneaky so that no one would know
that's
she's
her dad's last name.
Well, but it's like a combo because the A is from Adwan, from Pamela.
Is that the girl who she has the curly hair?
Yes.
And everyone's like, she's doing blackface kind of.
Yes, even though I think she's just Mediterranean.
Yeah. Because I've been wondering who that is.
She's in Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
And her mom is Bobby Hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
That's
mom is
my purse.
Her mom is the voice of Bobby
Of course,
Hill.
Pamela Adlon, the legend.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, okay, so maybe.
How about? Hey, do you know who Brittany Broski is?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a
'Cause
good one.
Also, she's really funny.
She's
really
so
funny.
I mean, very flattering to me to be compared.
What
to
about
Brittany Broski.
Zendaya?
Zendaya
Is she available?
What about Timmy Chalamet?
Ooh.
He could do it. Method acting.
Meryl
He's
Streep,
gotta
one of the
move
best.
He's got to move to the Olympic Peninsula for 2 years.
Okay, yeah.
Fully inhabit the role of Lindy West.
Okay, how about this? Meryl Streep as Lindy, Martin Short as a Ham.
Love it.
Thoughts?
Love it.
Mhm.
I love it.
And for Meagan, can we cast Teyana Taylor?
Why
We don't
not?
have anything in common. I just am obsessed with her. She's so beautiful.
Have you seen the Teyana Taylor My Sweet 16 though? And how do you feel about that?
I've seen clips. That's
It's wild.
What a
didn't
character
realize
arc she's had.
She must have been. I would have never thought. First, I didn't know anything about her sort of growing up years before she was acting and everything. But like, yeah, the fact that she clearly grew up in a family that had the means to do like an over-the-top Sweet 16, and then I'm sure this is MTV making her act extra demanding. That's the premise of the show. But then that person who's kind of like really has very specific ideas about their super Sweet 16 ends up being a phenomenal actor.
I know.
That's the part that's shocking to me.
She's had such a character arc to go from, I mean, I've never heard of such a thing for someone to go. Well, I mean, I guess in a sense, the first person who came to mind was like Jennifer Lawrence was on not Larry the Cable Guy, but one of the other rednecks.
Right.
Well, Theo Vaughn was on Road Rules, The Gauntlet.
Yes. And Sean Duffy was on Real World Regular. But anyways, like Jennifer Lawrence went from one of the rednecks sitcoms to winning an Oscar. So like that's kind of weird too. You never know what people get up to. You know, and apparently by the way, apparently Brie Larson was a pop star and now she's a respected actress. It's so strange what they want us to forget about their pasts.
Lindy, are you filming all of your influencer videos, posts, whatever, either sitting in your car or eating a bag of something? Because this seems to be exceedingly popular in my feed.
Yeah. I'm also doing a lot. Yeah, I sit in my car.
Good.
I get like a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Nice.
I take a bite. I go, wait, why is this low-key fire? That's most of what I do.
Oh, is Grimace available to play you?
Oh, good idea.
Get Grimace.
Okay.
And I want the Hamburglar to play me.
Okay, wait. Who was I a minute ago? I'm Meryl Streep in the Grimace suit.
Yes.
Aham's Martin Short. Zendaya is Roya.
Yes.
Meagan is Tiana Taylor in the Hamburglar outfit.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yes.
Luke, I guess I'm hearing Jennifer Lawrence.
Sure, I love it.
Andrew is Timmy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
well, that's
sense.
that solved.
It's not the first time
So-
I've heard that.
That's the cast of Temple of the Dog, the movie.
A pre-order adult braces everywhere you get your books.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
They say don't judge a book by the cover, but I haven't had a chance to read the book, but I have seen the cover, and it is a phenomenal cover, and it makes me
It's
want to
really
read the
good.
book.
It's a really good cover.
Really, really good.
Possibly the best book cover ever made, I think, is what they're
Who's
saying.
the artist who did that?
What I'm hearing.
Her name is Sarah Deck, D-E-C-K, and she is incredible. I didn't meet her or talk to her, but my publisher sent me a couple of options, and I was like, ooh, I like her. And then it's also the portrait of me is based on a photograph of me that Jenny Jimenez took, who is my friend, who also photographed Megan's wedding and my wedding.
She sure did. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that awesome
I won
photo
Jenny Jimenez in a.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I won Jenny Jimenez in a charity auction. She took all my pictures, yeah, and then she took a bunch of my other friends' pictures too. So I'm very happy to have met her.
Those ones that you published in your newsletter were amazing. Your guys' newsletter is so good. Obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it was your idea.
It was your idea.
It was TPTL's idea. You guys were like, oh, we do this. You guys should do this too. And we're like, okay, we'll just copy you guys.
Yeah.
And we did a pledge drive.
Yeah, but
like
how
you
was
guys
I
said.
supposed to know you could write so well?
Yeah. And don't copy us to the degree that no one who has Gmail can get your newsletter anymore, because that's the current status of the TBTL newsletter.
So about
only 5% of the American public can currently receive it.
About 3 newsletters ago, I accidentally included a link that was fine, but for some reason was flagged by the internet police, and now I am flagged by the internet police, at least on the Gmail side of things. And every time I send out a newsletter, it's going directly to people's spam folders, and not just that, it is saying that like you cannot trust this person, this sender. It literally says this sender has attempted to grab people's personal information, which is absolutely untrue. If you have an iPhone, which I don't, but I have friends who do, showed me what it looks like. Next to my name is a logo with a little fishing hook.
Devastating.
Yeah, so I'm not going to write it anymore.
They said you're Tiana Taylor dressed up as the Hamburglar.
Burgle some personal data.
You're the Italian trying to steal my money at the Diamante parking lot.
Oh, I thought that was your Irish accents you guys were doing.
Oh, I don't know. No. Oh, girl, no. Oh, no.
So that was Andrew. Was that your tidings?
Sure, I guess
that
so.
You're the internet's #1.
Yeah, exactly.
Pilferer.
Nobody trusts me. I'm actually excited. Are you trying to get into what you've brought to the table, Luke? Because we need to talk about this. I've been having this conversation with you in my head for 2 days.
Well, here's the question. I don't know what Megan and Lindy's timeline is. It's a different time back there in Washington, District of Columbia. So we have a few different directions we can go, and I want to give everyone options. One is hat talk, because there's been a couple of different. I worry that this one, because there's audio, and we'll all have thoughts. There's a lot to say about that. That's the long version. The short version is we could talk about the fact that people are doing snake yoga in Portland.
I just read about that.
And the third option is that we could all just call it a day.
No, I'd love to keep chatting. I have a thought about Rob Lowe's hat interview, but it sounds like, but I don't know. I feel like maybe snake yoga is more spiritually connected to our show.
Lindy?
I've been wearing a hat
for
an hour and a half.
We're talking hats in a little segment that we like to call Hats Entertainment. Once again, raising the question, will an instrumental version of the Judy Garland song That's Entertainment get us pulled down in parts of Eastern Europe?
Yes.
Does it contain enough of the DNA of the real song to get us in trouble and further besmirch Andrew's good name on the internet? So for many years, Andrew and I have been referencing, maybe not many years, but for kind of a good while, we've been referencing this photo of Rob Lowe at an NFL game where he's wearing a hat that just says NFL.
It's the best.
It's just so beautiful, and it's so kind of scans with
hat.
the way that I am. I did once sit at the Alaska Airlines lounge next to Rob Lowe and his wife. They seemed very nice and normal. I didn't talk to them or bother them, but I will just admit to not having a strong sense of like what Rob Lowe's personality is like outside of him doing the Adkins, commercials for like Atkins shakes and stuff, which kind of doesn't make me think he has a good personality. It kind of makes me think he's just like a kind of a weird creation of trying to stay skinny and like have taut skin or whatever. Like I have all these preconceived ideas about Rob Lowe, and they were confirmed when I saw him wearing a hat that said NFL. He was at a game, and like who's wearing a hat that just says NFL, and that has become memeified now. To represent like a person who is not very committed to anything, who has no backbone and who doesn't have any real rooting interest, is just there. I'm not gonna tell the listeners that Lindy just pointed at herself, because you do have a backbone, my friend.
I do, but I'm non-committal and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah,
that is true. Well, Rob Lowe was on Rich Eisen's show and was like asked, but this Rich Eisen show I really like, actually. Like it's one of the last bastions of kind of, I don't know, when you didn't have to yell as much, when it was like the takes were not quite as hot, which was fine for me. The takes are too spicy. I have a very sensitive mouth area that can't take the spiciest of takes.
Yep.
So Rich Eisen was asking him like about this hat situation, this NFL hat, and this was Rob Lowe's, let me get a little volume going here. This was Rob Lowe's answer.
What is the story behind that hat?
The hat was, they gave me a choice of hats to wear. I was at the game, so it was a Fox game.
Yes, sir.
I had a show premiering on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, would you go for promotion? We'll cut to you in the audience.
Okay.
And so they're like, here's a hat. And they were all like these loud, half one team on one side and half the other team on the other, and like super.
This, by the way, was when Rob Lowe really started to win me over.
Yes.
Me too. I can't wait to talk
You know
about
that,
this.
Megan, that era of those like crazy hats, kind of like maybe, I don't know, late 90s or something?
Yeah. He started winning me over because he's going to say the best part in a second, but like to me, like what you just described about this NFL hat is like somebody who's like doesn't really believe in anything. And it kind of gives the vibe of, I guess I just hope everyone has a nice time. But in my opinion, wearing a hat with two teams mashed up is worse. That's that guy more than if you just wore the NFL hat. Like that would have been disgusting. And he would have been memeified in some other more rotten way. So I would just like to foreshadow that I think he made the right call. If we're gonna play the rest of the audio,
we are.
Okay, great. But this is where because I just started to think, like I was like you, Luke, where I was like, the main thing I know about Rob Lowe's personality is that he wore the NFL hat, and I thought he did that because that was the type of person that he is. You know what I mean?
So it I think it confirmed all of our priors on who we thought Rob Lowe was.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. All right, here's more Rob Lowe.
We're busy, and like those special game hats are just bad.
Yeah.
And then there's this one simple NFL hat, which I'd never seen before. I'd never seen that hat before.
Usually, I don't normally when you see something like that, it's
a ref,
right? And it's white.
And I'm like, oh, that looks like I'm definitely going to wear that simple thing.
Damn straight.
And people, it's become a meme of someone who is agnostic to everything. If you're just like, hey, go teams.
Yeah. Go teams. What game was that, by the way?
And this is another thing, too. Rob Lowe remembers what the game was, which is kind of like, again, it also means he was conscious of what was happening around him. He, like not just like, I don't know, it was two teams. It was like he knows who the teams were and stuff. And then later, Rich Eisen asks if he can have the hat, and Rob Lowe is like, no, I'm giving it to the Smithsonian.
So funny.
This is really, really forcing me to rethink my thoughts about Rob Lowe.
He does seem like the kind of guy who might have that Mary Lou Henner thing where he like remembers everything that's ever happened to him.
Yeah.
That came up on TV till like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? I think about it all the time.
Well, I think what's interesting about it is like one of the reasons I think the meme was so popular and so successful as a meme is that He really seemed like the kind of guy
Yeah.
who doesn't really give a shit about football. He's there because somebody asked him to be there, and he wore an NFL hat. And he's standing there kind of almost robotic in the photo. And it's just a still photo, so who knows how animated he was before or after somebody took that screen grab. But then for him to be like, I remember exactly who was there. I was having a great time. It was like, I think it was like the 49ers and somebody else. And
Yes.
It was like a playoff game. And he like remembers it. He was like, I was having a great time. I don't want to wear an ugly hat. And I'm like, who is this person? Like, I thought that you did that because you are agnostic about everything. Go Teams. I thought that.
And he also,
was
I
your
mean, if you
deal.
think about his character on Parks and Rec, I don't know if y'all watch a lot of Parks and Rec, but it's like comedically, he's very much leaned into I think the idea of how who we all think he is, and it's wild to me to think that Rob Lowe may have been at least a little bit in on the joke.
That really blew my mind. And then at the end, when Rich Eisen asked for the hat, and he was like, "What? No, this is like my greatest contribution to society is this hat meme. It's so funny. I'm going to give it to the Smithsonian." And then he's like offers to lend it, like a museum. He'll lend it to Rich Eisen, and Rich Eisen wants to put it next to the cell phones from Wall Street or whatever. And I was like, don't disrespect the hat like that. And then also, there's like this interesting part where Rich Eisen's like, "Will you sign it?" And he's like, "Well, can I?" He's like, "I'll sign the inside, but I don't want it to be on the outside. That would ruin the hat."
And he said it would ruin the look. Yes.
Yeah, it would like ruin the whole point of the hat, which is that it's nothing.
That it's not busy. Exactly. I can't think of so I hadn't had the chance to talk to anybody about this, but all three of us, and Lindy, I don't know how, are you in on this as well? You were familiar with the whole thing.
The NBA gave her that hat that says basketball.
But
Yeah, this is so much more appropriate than I even realized.
Yeah.
I donned this blank hat that we got. It was supposed to say TBTL on it, but I got a blank one. So
I love that.
Rob
now
Lowe.
everyone is wearing a hat
But
me.
it's I can't think of a better story or another example of such internet redemption. Like that thing was so omnipresent. It became the first thing, as one of you already said, the first thing I thought of when I thought of Rob Lowe. And I found this 90-second clip so damn relatable immediately. We've all had this. I don't know how far this will range as it makes the rounds. Oh, what are you doing up there? What do you got?
I went and got my little hat.
Is that a tiny? Is it a tiny Husky hat or a tiny Washington D.C. hat?
I would like to tell you the unfortunate tale, which is, well, first of all, it is a little hat that you put your ice cream in.
Yeah.
You get your little sundae in it at the game, and I live in Washington, so occasionally I go to Nationals games. Woo! And
we lost the hat,
but the hat fell, and I root for them if I have to. But they're a National League team, so usually there's no crossover between the Mariners and the Nationals. So I will occasionally support the Nats, and I got this little ice cream sundae tiny batting helmet, and so that's the hat I'm wearing.
Was it ice cream or was it Dippin' Dots in there?
It was absolutely ice cream.
Okay,
We we don't mess around with Dippin'
How
Dots.
God
around
intended
here.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry to interrupt.
So the other story in Hat News today is, or as it's called sometimes, Hats Entertainment, involves Billy Bob Thornton and his particularly unique look. And we on this show have really disliked Billy Bob Thornton and his work for years and years, ever since he yelled at that one Canadian radio host,
John Gameshi.
Who had his own
but
set
then
of
he got
problems.
canceled.
That
Yeah.
is true. I believe those were unrelated events.
Well, we don't know.
Two people can be bad.
Billy
but,
Bob had an axe to grind.
But right. Maybe he knew something. But that the interview went viral where Billy Bob Thornton wanted to just talk about his band. I believe they're called the Boxmasters.
Oh, Jesus.
And not talk about his acting career. And this guy interviewing him on the CBC made the mistake of, in a very, if I remember right, pretty delicate way, trying to mention the fact that this guy who's in here with this band that nobody's heard of is also turns out a person who won an Oscar for acting or whatever, and he went off on him. And that was that didn't win him any points with us. And then also just his kind of, so it's like you start off with this particular idea of this person being totally humorless about themselves and just kind of somebody I'm not a huge fan of necessarily. And then you see the getup that he wears oftentimes in public, like this hat situation where he's got a kind of a, it'll be like a beanie sometimes or like a tighter, not like a do-rag, but something kind of smaller. and more low profile, and then he'll have this big, like felt hat kind of sitting like sort of jauntily on top of it, and then he's got these loops in his ears. It's just like a whole situation. So every time I see that, it just makes me. I mean, this was before he started starring in these really ridiculous cell phone commercials that Andrew and I love to make fun of.
Can I say something about that
Please.
really quick? I'm so sorry. First of all, I feel like Trump won an election with the slimmest margin like in American history, right? And as a result, all media has been redirected towards whatever the fuck that is, like whatever the Yellowstone,
the landman, axis of evil,
of the land guy in like low slung old pants. You know what I mean? And he's like, and by the way, this man's wearing a piece, and I just feel like
it's not
that's
a good one. I mean, Rip
it's not
Thorne called. He
inauthentic.
wants his rug back.
Hello, like it's so inauthentic to the Big Sky Montana vibe he's trying, or whatever, Texas, whatever. And he's like, where am I anyways? And it's so obnoxious and so stupid. And then you know what happened?
They got Rushmore in on it.
They fucking
Luke Wilson.
caught Luke Wilson to start doing them for AT&T or whatever. I was like, no one voted for this. No one voted for two different Big Sky landmen walking around kicking rocks talking about, you'll never guess where I am. I'm at the pancake store at the gas station.
I'm Luke Wilson. I'm staring at a scoreboard that I keep deep in the interior of my Texas property that tracks cell phone reliability.
I can't.
I've taken out binoculars to look at that.
But vis-a-vis
part of one of the ads.
Vis-a-vis the hat, he's walking around looking like a Coachella influencer, except he's 950 years old. So the vibe is unsettling, to say the least.
Absolutely.
It's a real like Captain Jack Sparrow meets
Lindy,
Norma Desmond kind
that's
of
an
thing.
exceptionally Lindy, that is a perfect segue into this actual tape.
Oh, good.
Here in the Hats Entertainment segment.
Is he
of the
doing an
show.
accent? Tell me he's not doing an
He's
accent.
being interviewed on a CBS This Morning, not to be confused with my beloved show, CBS Sunday Morning.
Get into it.
Say.
Even though CBS This Morning did steal all of our branding, which we were very sad about.
Oh.
They took the Sun.
Little
Because like
sunrise.
CBS Sunday Morning had good ratings, and so CBS This Morning was not having great ratings, and so they borrowed all of the everything that indicates visually the show on Sunday, and now they use it 5 days a week. That's fine. I'm not bitter about it. But he's being interviewed. He's promoting Landman, and he's being interviewed by it's like Gayle King, Nate Burleson, by the way, Pride of Seattle.
Yeah.
O'Day High.
Get into it.
Absolutely. I love Nate Burleson. I did think I would be one of the more famous TV people from the Metro Leagues, but that is not how that has worked out.
Not this time, buddy.
No, not this lifetime. Not in this part of the multiverse. It's Nate Burleson's. But and then a guy named Vladimir Duthier, I think is his name.
I was just wondering what happened to Vlad. Oh, he's still in the mix.
Or he's a CBS This Morning guy now.
Love him.
So like they're interviewing Billy Bob Thornton about Landman. And this is the thing, Lindy, you're referencing Pirates. This is all at the very beginning of this. I was like, don't do this to me, Billy Bob Thornton. Don't actually have a sense of humor about yourself, you son of a bitch. He's talking about how much he likes being in Landman.
Okay, go ahead. I'm so sorry to interrupt. The show is actually called Landman, or are you doing a bit?
No, it's called Landman.
Oh, God.
Are you not inundated with ads
Megan,
for Landman?
It's literally the most popular show on television in America.
Is it part of the extended Yellowstone universe?
It is.
Okay,
It's
that's
a Taylor
why.
Sheridan production.
I let all of that exit my brain hole
As well you
immediately.
should.
Yeah.
As well you should.
Yeah.
So he's on there talking about Landman, and he's talking about how he likes being in the show because he gets to just be himself, and he starts to say, they don't have me, they don't make me dress up in some pirate suit. And then he realizes that he looks like a pirate, and he starts making fun of himself just ever so briefly for looking like a pirate. Take a listen.
Dress up like a. I started to say go dress up like a pirate, but I do.
People shall remain nameless, but they said Billy Bob is here. He's got the pirate look going. I mean, what is the look that you go for? Because really, it's very unique to you, too. Not many people can pull this off.
By the way, extremely well positioned by Gayle King. She's not saying even he can pull it off.
Yeah.
She's saying, what are you going for with your look? It's not something a lot of people can put off, including you, Mr. Bob Thornton.
Well, I've always, first of all, these boots, see how dirty they're?
Yeah.
I got these boots in Telluride, Colorado in 1996.
Wow.
And they look like tire treads.
Talk about high
But they look
quality.
great still. They look amazing.
And
By the way, Vladimir is so thirsty for Billy Bob's approval in this. I would say there's about 3 more times where Billy Bob is talking about a piece of clothing that clearly doesn't work, and all we hear is Vlad interjecting, but it works. But it works. And we are getting a little bit of that from Gail, too. I think Nate Burleson wants no part of this conversation. I don't think we hear him once, which is why he's a good broadcaster.
He's a good broadcaster, and he's actually handsome and well-dressed. He doesn't want to have his legacy stained by whatever Billy Bob is doing.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Okay. I wear them in weather like this, but I wear women's size 6 Levi's. That's
okay.
What?
Hello?
I mean, way to break down whatever your preconceived notions about Billy Bob's, attempts at masculinity. He doesn't see that as a challenge to his masculinity.
Okay.
I mean, good for him.
Right. And also, well, Gail King it takes her a minute to let that sink in that she's wearing size 6. She says something. Well, I'll let you hear it, and then we can try to interpret what she means by this.
Size 6?
Yeah.
Oh, Billy.
And then...
Oh, no.
What do you think that "oh, Billy" means?
I think she's worried about him. He's too little.
Yeah, that's a that's a pretty small male.
He's too small.
Oh, yeah. Billy.
By the way, a lady size 6, he couldn't have just said, waist 28 or whatever.
Right.
Like that's such a choice. And I feel like he's trying to brag.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird.
Okay.
It's a weird. Yeah, sorry.
Not to jump ahead to my final analysis of this, but the fact that you just said that's a choice, I think that is quite literal. I think it was a choice coming into this interview that he was going to do this whole
He's gonna
thing.
say that.
He is an actor, and he knows that he can win us over by acting like somebody who's not an asshole.
Yeah.
And I think he was
I
ready
don't
to
think
talk
so.
about his fit.
Don't you
It's
think
bad.
though that if he's truly the person who we think he was from the Q interview on the CBC, which is a kind of a very unself-aware, very kind of rude person, would that same person be able to then talk about the fact that they look like a pirate and that they're wearing size 6 jeans of the gender they don't identify at, etc.?
He brought it up. That's my whole point. And I went back. That John Gomeshi.
Well, no, Gail brought it up, right?
No, he brought up. He's the one who interrupted himself mid-word pirate. To bring up his own looks. And I feel like, and so first of all, you guys should know where I'm coming from on this. Like that.
Andrew wears a size 7 women's jeans. He's been trying to get down to size 6 for years. And it freaking eats at him.
For you.
Billy B and me have been in the competition and hearing that I'm slightly behind. No, I mean, those types of things. Bruce Willis did it once with his co-lead actor on the movie Red, I want to say, or something like
when
that.
He was really rude to that interviewer.
I get really, really defensive when these big shot Hollywood types come in and talk down to, or in Billy Bob's case, like actually kind of like really almost harass the interviewer by kind of displaying their gap in sort of social power, cultural power, or whatever. And while Gomeshi has his own issues, like in that case, I have internalized how much I hate him so much from his poutiness from that moment. So I went back and watched that today just to make sure, just to get my anger up, and to revisit this. And I'm just sort of thinking like, yeah, Billy Bob comes off as super charming in this and very likable, but he's also a really good actor. As much as I kind of don't like him, I think he's a really good actor. And I think in this case, he decided I'm going to come on and I'll accidentally bring up my little fit and I'll make it a thing and I'll be super charming about it.
Good use of little fit.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, that's my take on the whole thing.
I have a question. Do we think there's any possibility that he's doing like a galaxy brain high level marketing move? Because it's like for the real Americans who watch Landman, the guy who stars in Landman is not a pirate wearing women's jeans.
Right.
And so it's like he needs to maybe try to reach some of the woke mind virus Americans by being like, see, I'm like you. But then the other people who do like Landman but don't like a gay pirate will say he's so good at, look how good at acting he is, because in real life he's that guy in the women's jeans, but then in Landman he's a testosterone soaked, T-bone
Whatever
steak
happens
Whatever.
on Landman. I feel like at the very least, I think what he's learned, he had to teach himself how to be self-deprecating or whatever version of that is in this, and maybe that was a result of this disastrous Gian Gomeshi. By the way, I was also on his radio show once, and then when he got canceled, I was like, oh my god, ugh.
I was at a public radio conference where there was a get together afterwards, and he was there and weirded out our intern.
Oh,
years before, obviously, like the S really hit the fan, but and I don't think anything substantive happened there.
Yeah, but
it was just kind of like, that's a strange thing.
You got to trust your instincts, girlies.
Absolutely.
That's what we're saying. Anyways, I just feel like you don't go onto a morning show wearing a wool scarf as an ascot and a disco collar shirt open and a do-rag underneath a red velvet Dave Navarro hat from Ink Master and then take yourself too seriously. I feel like this was all choices. Everyone a choice. And I think that I feel a little bit like Lindy. Like, I feel like he's like, okay, we've already captured the elderly people who watch CBS. Let me try to get a couple woke or two. I don't know. Just let them know I wear women's jeans. That'll really win them over. That'll really win over the coasts.
He opened up a can of Whoop Up on my heart.
No, I forgot about Whoop Up.
Because I think I bought this hook, line, and sinker. What is wrong with me? I'm so naive. I mean, I'm hearing what you all are saying, and I'm tending to agree with you. I very much fell into the trap of thinking, oh, this guy maybe is actually like not as much of a little turd as I thought he was from that other interview.
You don't wear Dave Navarro's cast-offs like that unless you have a
Carmen
plan.
Electra.
Maybe not everyone fits into a neat box, you guys.
Wow.
So you're saying it's not just good or bad? Would you say it's more like 6'7" or?
Oh,
boy. Oh boy.
No,
Wait,
okay. So the rest of I won't play the rest of the interview.
Oh, there's more. Oh,
there is. We don't have to hear it. But basically, again, because you guys think this is all psyops, it doesn't really matter. But I did think it was interesting that he was saying, and I'm leaving out like 3 more. Oh, it's working.
Wait.
From Vladimir.
Can I say I don't think it's psyops? Actually, I think that that's just what he's like. I would just like to say personally, my instincts say this is just like a chaotic guy who is annoying. But like, you know what I mean? Because like an annoying person can sometimes be charming. I just feel like this man is pickled in showbiz, and so he does whatever he wants, and he thinks that whatever he does is a great idea.
Oh, you know boy, is he pickled.
I think
he's pickled, sister.
I think that's such a perfect description, Lindy, of exactly what happens to these folks.
I support my colleagues' analysis that it's all choices. I think both. I think NFL. I think go teams.
He did say that the reason he does that weird double hat thing, and remember, the segment's called Hats Entertainment. We have to always bring it back to that.
Right.
Yep.
Is because he really liked this like skull cap little thing that he got from some designer guy. But then he said, and then he's like, yeah, I put on this little like ski cap thing, and then Vladimir goes, it's working, and he goes, yeah, but Billy Bob has to correct him and go, yeah, but if it's just wearing that, I look like a pinhead. So then I thought I'd put this other hat on top of it. And then I think at that point, Gail realizes that they've spent far too much time talking about the fashion, and she hard pivots into an unrelated topic.
Gail's like, I don't even have to work. Like, why am I here?
Exactly. So
this
like
is nonsense.
If it makes you look pinhead, what do you like about it? Sounds like you don't like it.
If you immediately have to cover it with, as Meagan has called it, a Navarro job,
this is a too obvious thing to say, and I apologize for being so pedestrian.
Go
but
on.
if you haven't seen the, I think you should leave sketch where they parody the Gameshi interview. It's
a cosmic gumbo.
It's the one where Santa Claus stars in the action movie, and then they show him doing press, and the guy mentions him being Santa Claus, and then he flips out.
Yes,
that's so funny. I did not connect those dots, but yeah, that's obvious. That's obviously
He's like, I said no questions about being Santa Claus. I'm here to talk about my acting.
By the way, R.I.P. to that guy.
Oh, that's
I
right.
know.
He passed away recently. That's why I feel like there's like an alternate universe where Billy Bob walks into some interview and somebody has the gall to ask him about his outfit or his little hats, and he says, "You wouldn't say that to Tom Petty, would you?" And like he would just decide
Yes,
that
I
he's going to be a
would.
total jerk about that, right? So that's what kind of bugs me.
I agree with you, Andrew, and I think that goes to Lindy's point, which is like, and I bet you that there's a lot of people, you know, a lot of these Hollywood stars that are like this, where they've just been pickling in it for so long, it's been working for them, regardless of if like they even understand why it's working. And so everything to them that they're thinking seems like a good idea in the moment, and sometimes that ends up being charming and nice, and sometimes it ends up being totally unhinged, and they can't even tell you the difference.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think that tracks.
All
Well,
right.
He looks cold. That's the last thing I'll say. I
Oh,
wish
Billy.
him. I wish him. Some woolly socks and
per Gail, he needs to bulk up. He's too
Exactly.
small.
He
He's
is.
too little. She's worried.
Well, my friends, what do you think? Have we? If you can tell over the video link,
I was gonna say,
I am no longer, in the words of Manfred Mann, I'm blinded by the light, not wrapped up
You
like a
look great.
douche, which I thought it was for
We all did,
most
Luke.
of my life.
We all did.
Yeah.
Wait, where do we always land on this, Andrew? Is that a Bruce Springsteen original or not?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Have
Did
we
he
had
have
this
anything
conversation?
to do with Blinded by the Light?
I didn't even know that was Manfred Mann.
I thought I was. We were recording this a little bit
It
later
was
than
written and recorded by Bruce Springsteen.
Billy Bob
and
Thornton.
It was on Greetings
And the
from
Boxmasters.
Asbury Park. And singing backup vocals was Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep.
Landman.
Would you ask that of Tom Petty?
Absolutely.
No, but I'm realizing a structural design of my little home studio here in Southern Washington, which is if we're ever trying to record at this time of day and it's the weird nice day in the wintertime, it's absolutely impossible for me to see what's going on.
Watching you suffer right now is unfortunately very funny to me. It's just it's like a rectangle of bright ass sunlight just where your eyeballs are.
And
it's
I
like
keep
nowhere
trying
else
to
in your
move
room. It's
around,
so
but then,
funny to
like-
me. It's so funny to me.
I did not even know this was a possibility. So
I'm obsessed.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was having the same problem
Yes.
You
during
were.
the first half because I'm sitting under a skylight and the whole right side of my face was.
Well, you don't know this, but maybe you do because you can see yourself. But your camera was like glowing around the edges, like you were sent
really?
by angels from heaven into this riverside. It was beautiful.
I had to turn my hat to the side.
saw that.
Like, you know.
I thought you were just being
aesthetic
jaunty.
No, like I look like a rugrat or something. I had to go sideways cap to shield my eyes, but now the sun has gone.
You look like
to
MC Scat Cat.
That's right.
Ow. You're looking like Return of Bruno over here. Ow. Anyways, another
right.
pleasurable afternoon with Timtal of the dog.
Woof.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Would you say that to Tom Petty? You wouldn't say that to Tom Petty, would you?
Power out.